The path from the past. When Clara inherited her grandmother's estate, it was the quiet, untouched woods behind the house that drew her curiosity. Among the towering oaks and whispering pines, she found a narrow dirt path she had never noticed before. The air around it felt cooler, the usual sounds of birds and wind muted, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. Something about that path seemed to beckon her, not with invitation, but with a silent urgency she couldn't explain. On the first day she walked the path, the forest seemed almost alive around her. The crunch of leaves beneath her feet sounded too loud, and the usual scents of pine and earth were replaced by an unfamiliar, faintly metallic tang. She swore she heard whispers, indistinct words carried on the wind, like fragments of conversations long forgotten. The path twisted deeper than she expected, leading her beneath arching limbs that formed natural tunnels and shadows that seemed to flicker just beyond sight. By the second day, Clara noticed something unsettling. The path seemed to change. Where yesterday there had been fallen leaves, now the ground was bare soil, as if freshly disturbed. Occasionally, she glimpsed shapes in the distance, figures that vanished when she tried to look directly. The whispers grew clearer, almost like voices struggling to tell her something important, yet always slipping away before she could grasp their meaning. A gnawing sense of familiarity twisted inside her chest, though she couldn't place its source. That night, Clara dreamt of the house as it once was, bustling with life, laughter echoing through the halls, and a little girl running through the rooms. But the dream twisted, the laughter turned hollow, and the girl's eyes met hers with a silent plea. She woke with a start, the whispers from the forest echoing in her mind. Was it memory or something else? The line blurred as she realized the path was not just a trail through the woods, but a corridor through forgotten time, drawing her deeper into a story she had never known she was part of. The following day, Clara returned to the path with a small notebook, determined to piece together its secrets. She found strange carvings on tree bark, symbols she couldn't identify, but felt drawn to trace with her fingers. Suddenly, a figure appeared ahead, just out of clear focus, a woman in faded clothes, her face obscured. When Clara called out, the figure vanished like mist. The forest seemed to pulse with energy, and Clara's heart pounded as she realized the path wasn't just leading her forward. It was leading her back into a past that refused to stay buried. As days passed, Clara's visits to the path grew more frequent, each journey unraveling more fragments of the past, a family torn by loss, secrets whispered in twilight, and a tragedy that had shadowed the estate for decades. The whispers changed, sometimes pleading, sometimes warning. Clara felt herself slipping between two worlds, caught in the fragile space where history and memory overlap. And then, on a mist-choked morning, when the forest was silent except for the soft rustle of leaves, the path revealed its final secret, a reflection not in a mirror, but in the depths of her own soul. Clara never quite left the path behind. The estate remained, quiet yet alive with the unseen. Visitors would sometimes glimpse her silhouette walking among the trees, a figure half remembered like a fading dream. The path from the past became a boundary, a place where the living and the lost meet, not in violence or horror, but in the quiet, lingering presence of what once was and what might never be forgotten. And in that delicate balance, the true terror lies, not in what is seen, but in what remains just beyond the edge of knowing.